Thank you, Shyam. You have covered most of the things which could be said at the closing of such an event. So I have only little to add. That is, this format of a summit meeting is unique by itself because it provides an occasion for the leadership of the profession to come together. And within that leadership, the leadership of ideas is the most important aspect of it. And here in this setting, we can discuss and develop those ideas without inhibitions, without restrictions, in an atmosphere of trust in each other, that whatever we express remains within the confines of what are our shared values and the information which we are able to get from each other on some very sensitive developments. One of the things which came out was when we were discussing in this meeting that we heard a lot and lot of print space and space in electronic media was taken up on the convictions in Hong Kong, but there is hardly any information about the acquittals and the way the judicial and legal system has responded to it. So that is something very, very important. It is not just the shortcomings which we need to highlight and strengthen our systems. We must ensure a steady flow of information of positive developments which boost each other, help boost each other, which strengthens our belief in the systems created around independent legal profession and independent judiciaries. It restores our trust, because as we see that economic competition, various issues impacting governance across the globe presents a bleak scenario. And systems at various places across the globe, irrespective of they are developing countries or developed countries, are under strain and are tottering on the brink of collapse in many places. And that is where such stories, such experiences, such achievements of the legal systems which have stood their ground, which have upheld the values of judicial independence, protection of human rights, right to a fair trial, is very important. And I think because the popular media gets more traction when things are negative, there is hardly an audience for something which has happened good. So summits like POLA and its deliberations and these outcomes which are coming, which are positive in nature, must be shared actively. And one of my suggestions is that Hong Kong shares the judgment, and that judgment is then transmitted by Malaysia. We are going to exploit the facilitation center to the hilt by Malaysia and transmit it to us. We will share it with all the members. The other aspect of POLA Summit is, and that is even for the observers to see, that we do not discriminate amongst each other on the basis of whether we have a partial democracy, full democracy, a closed system, or the uh, profession is structured differently. We are able to work together. We are able to appreciate each other's constraints, each other's strengths, and find ways how to give strength to each other despite those limitations, because ultimately when you deal with organizations and members from a huge continent like Asia Pacific, where historic developments of past 200 years, or if you look at from colonial perspective, past 60, 70, 80 years, we are still in a transition phase. Many jurisdictions are still in experimental stages. Some have made a progress going forward steadily. Some jurisdictions have faced breaks. But they are all part of one broad legal community. And we have been able to, and it is, as I said, that my first POLA was sitting on the side chair, way back, going back 2.5 decades. So my experience with this organization has been wonderful in the way we are able to blend everything, the way we are never confrontational, the way we are never censorious of anybody's limitation or conduct. We have been able to discuss it with a spirit of understanding and accommodation, but never even once lowering our guard on the basic values and tenets of fairness and justice and the rule of law. And we find that it is this spirit which galvanizes each one of us to keep working together and back in our home jurisdictions to aspire to these values and objectives in our own ways, within our own constraints, and always trying to improve. And that's what an independent profession, independent progressive minds brings to the table. And I found POLA never wanting in these aspects. Each jurisdiction has always come to the table positively, with a spirit to understand, and even criticism which is there, or things which have been pointed out, have been taken in stride in good spirit. So I think we keep up this tradition, and with these sentiments and words, we want to hand over the POLA flag and POLA emblem to our next host, Peradi. Nixon. So, as we bring to a close one chapter, with a new chapter to be written by Peradi in Indonesia, just one last remark. Shyam shared a wonderful, series of slides of Mario Miranda, which connected 2015 Goa and also brought in dogs. So here something very unique happened because of cats. So Lisa is a cat lover, and so am I. And this I shared in our bilateral with Brunei. So, and Shyam, you were also connected, you sent me a message. So there is a cat on her WhatsApp DP. So whenever a message or something comes, the DP gets highlighted. So I saw her cat and I looked there, and then we had a message that, Brunei also wants to attend, you connect. And one of the things she shared with Brunei president is that I also have a black cat, she also has a black cat, and he also has a black cat. So she said, you come there, you will meet Prashant's cat. And with this kind of, which Mr. Naganand said, a catalyst, we got to sign a memorandum of cooperation with Brunei. So, that's how we connect. We share each other's hobbies, we share each other's love for animals, we share each other's, little tidbits about life, not just as bar leaders, as legal practitioners, but human beings who are trying to form new bonds and relationships. And I think it is not from one host to the another host. These bonds sustain our friendships and sustain these kind of movements. So with this, except for a vote of thanks by Anandita, I bring the formal part of this 35th POLA Summit to a close, and I once again thank all of you for coming here, for your energetic participation, and for making this summit successful. Thank you very much.